Welcome to Beyond the Spread. I'm Bryce. Super Bowl 59 in the books. I said it, and I said it with my heart, but it was more of a heart bet than anything. But we broke it down last week. I took the Eagles. Again, the only glaring weakness that I saw just was the quarterback. And even then, I was wrong in that. I was wrong in that. Jalen Hurts just outplayed Patty straight up. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Jalen outplayed Patty. I mean, throwing the ball, running the ball, making the big plays that are needed, especially on third and that 1/4 down that the Eagles went for. Which, I mean, you see him take the deep shot to A.J. Brown on that 4th down, which was 4th and 2. It's like read option, maybe a little dump off pass, something like that. But nope. Right in the breadbasket to A.J. Brown. He gets called for offensive pass interference, which, again, I thought was stupid. And I think everyone watching the game was like, let the boys play. Like, they went back and showed it, like, after the commercial, whatever, and it was like, oh, he pushed off on the face. It's like, okay, but that's every play. That's every play. I digress. Congrats to City of Philadelphia. Eagles are Super Bowl champions. It's great. They're dynasty killers. Whenever you need it, whenever you see a dynasty starting to build up, just bet on Philly to destroy the dynasty. I mean, I don't even know. At this point, I don't even know where to start. I have a list of things that I want to talk about. Halftime show, how many bets I hit, which was 0. The one thing that I think was the biggest thing, and they kind of counteract each other in this, the defensive line for the Eagles. Again, when we broke down last week, Eagles had everything but the quarterback. But again, I was wrong about that. Jalen outplayed him. But the Eagles' defensive line, I think their offense did fantastic things. They did great. But when you can get home with 4 D linemen and put pressure, especially on Patrick Mahomes, who is arguably one of the best players ever to play the game, and do it on that kind of stage and get home and get sack after sack and create pressures and create, bad throws. I mean, you could see after the first few drives, Patty was just not comfortable. He didn't have time. He didn't hit his throws. There were a couple of them where I was like, is he like fully healthy? Like, I really don't know. I'm still kind of waiting for a story to come out like, oh, Patrick was dealing with like a broken toe but nothing's come out at this point. But when you can get home with 4 D linemen, DeAndre Smith, Jordan, not Carter, Jalen Carter. I mean, when you can get home with 4 D linemen rotating through too, it wasn't just the same 4 guys every time. It was 4 rotating, and when you can get home, it just makes things so much easier. I mean, they were dropping 7. They were putting Cooper DeJean on Travis Kelce, which kind of caused Travis Kelce to have a bad game. I mean, they put him on when you needed him to, just because, same size, same build, both can move. Cooper DeJean could cover with Travis. But Travis didn't really have that good of a game, mainly because Patty was, under pressure constantly. So when you can rush 4, get home, bull rush, stop the run with 4, pressure the quarterback with 4, and be able to have your linebackers really play like a true linebacker position where it's like, we can either drop, but if we see run, we're obviously going to fill the hole instead of just blindly blitzing and hoping you run to the right, the play runs into you. I thought that was the biggest part of this game. Because on the flip side, that offensive line was rotating throughout the entire year. I mean, when we go back and look at it, I mean, they moved the left guard to right tackle and then the right guard to left tackle. The right tackle went into left. Like, that entire offensive line for the Chiefs was jumbled all year. They never really got a good set core, and you saw it all year. I think that was the downfall. I mean, because you have weapons on the outside. If you give Patty just a little bit of time, he'll make the fucking throw. There's no doubt about it that he'll make the throw. But yeah, that was the big one. That defense, man, that is what you love to see. You just love to see it. Again, hand up. I'm a Chiefs hater. I am a Chiefs hater. I just don't think that when you break down the game, with Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes competing each other. It's like, obviously I'm going to take Patty. I didn't even bet the Eagles. I bet the over. I hit 0 bets all the entire Sunday, the entire game. I hit 0 bets. Sorry, I'm ordering a Chick-fil-A order. 1 second. I know this is very rude, but drop it in the comments. What's your Chick-fil-A? What's your Chick-fil-A order? Arnold, I forgot what the name of it is. They have a special name at Chick-fil-A for like an Arnold Palmer. I forget. Is it Sunrise? But when I hear Sunrise, I think tequila Sunrise and Chick-fil-A sauce. But yeah. Okay. Sorry for the distraction, but Chick-fil-A, when Chick-fil-A is being called for, you jump on that text. Don't tell me any different. You jump on that text. If Chick-fil-A is being ordered, you jump on it. Chiefs mistakes, but that was kind of forced by the Eagles defense. Patty had a pick 6. I mean, he had 2 or 3 picks. One thing that will go down in the records books, which is like whatever, like it doesn't really bother me, but I want it to be firm and noticed that Patty put up garbage time minutes. Like, when like you like in the NBA, they're stat patters, right? They're stat patters. When you're up 15 with 2 minutes left and they've kind of like rotated in this bench, it's like, okay, I'm going to start hoisting some threes or get some rebounds and assists going. Like, just stat the pad stat. That's what Patty did in the last 6-7 minutes. I think Patrick Mahomes is great. I want it on record. Also, I want it on the record. Patrick Mahomes is... Where do you rank him? Like, people were before like, if he wins this, he's in the conversation. Before he was in the conversation, really, it's really preference at this point. I think he's in the top 5 no matter what. I think he's that good. I think he's always going to be that good. If he would have got the 3-peat, you kind of look at him in a different light. I think he's top 5 no matter what. In all time. I really, really do. I think he's earned that right. I think he's put up a good amount of numbers. He's been to 5 Super Bowls, won 3 of them. The guy's special. He's a special talent, and you can't change my mind about that. Unless we see a huge digression when Andy Reid retires or Travis Kelce retires or Chris Jones retires. Well, that's another conversation for another time. But mistakes left and right, pick 6, like I said, the fumble from the defensive line. He had no time. But again, here's the thing. The big thing around the Chiefs for the last, I don't know, this entire run, the last 8 years, they always counted on those deep ass plays. It was like, fuck it, Tyreek's down there somewhere. Patty's gonna throw him the ball. That's really kind of slowed down the last couple of years, which Patty has a great arm. You saw that last touchdown throw. He threw it on a fucking dime to Marquise Brown. Or not, was it Marquise Brown? No, Xavier Worthy. Excuse me. Xavier Worthy. Xavier Worthy also had a crazy game. 2 tutties and like 160 yards. I mean, the quietest 160 yards and 2 touchdown game you'll ever see in the Super Bowl, first of all, in a game regardless. He was in quicksand all night. Like I said, pressure with just 4 too. I mean, I think the Eagles blitz maybe once or twice. Maybe. I might even be wrong about that. But Patty's a dog. That's what I got written down here. 2 interceptions with the pick is tough. Shout out Cooper DeJean. White guy. Shout out him. Now let's flip it. I think I've sucked enough dick for Patrick Mahomes. I respect him. I think he's a great player. I think he's going to be back. We can have the GOAT conversation after we get to the other side. But yeah, on the flip side, the Eagles, let's start with the Chiefs defense. Spagnuolo. Oh, also shout out Vic Fangio. He was a Broncos guy for a while. He was a Miami guy for a while. Eagles back and forth. Finally got a fucking ring. He had the best game plan for that Chiefs offense. Shout out Vic Fangio. Let's flip it. Chiefs defense. Spagnuolo, you could obviously see from the get-go that he wanted to stop the run. He wanted to stop the run, and that was his goal. He's like, Saquon's going to have, 17 carries for 50 yards. If you were to tell me that a week ago or like the day before the game, it's like, do they win this game if Saquon has 50 yards rushing? It's like, probably not. But on the flip side, if you think about it, it's like that means Jalen Hurts had a hell of a day passing. So if you were to tell me that, I'd be like, maybe not, because Saquon's been that fundamental piece for this offense all year long, where he's just ripping off runs left and right. But they loaded the box. They're like, Jalen Hurts is going to have to beat us throwing. And he did. Shout out A.J. Brown. Shout out Devontae Smith. Shout out Dallas Goedert. I mean, A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith had crazy games. You go into the third quarter. I think it was the third quarter. You know, you're like, okay, Chiefs are probably, everyone's thinking it. Chiefs are about to make a run. I think it was it second down, maybe even first down. It was like a run. It was a run, and then they play action it. Devontae Smith down the seam. It was like a post pattern. Drops it in a bucket. It's like, okay. They're just not playing with their food right now. They're just like, fuck you. We're going to keep the foot on the throat. All gas, no brakes. All gas, no brakes. Fly, Eagles, fly. Jalen Hurts, Super Bowl MVP. The dude is just different. He's just different. The way he carries himself is different than everyone else. I want to say it's kind of like, it's like Joe Burrow, like in the same aspect, like where Joe knows he's confident and he knows he's an absolute fucking dog. But Jalen's just demeanor is just slightly different. He's just an absolute dog. I mean, his story is amazing. You go to the national championship at Alabama. You don't win. You get benched. Tua replaces you. You're a backup all year. You go in the next year as a backup quarterback. You lead him down, I think, for a touchdown. Tua comes back in. You transfer to Oklahoma. I mean, the dude's an absolute dog. The dude's demeanor and attitude about his whole life perspective and the game itself is just fantastic to see. It really, really is. It's a fantastic thing to see. The dude's just different. I love it. Thinking about his quotes right now, like it kind of gives me some chills. Stone-faced cold. He's like, I'm here for business, and that's just what it is. The dude's just different. And I mean, not to tie this into basketball or anything like that, but when the Celtics won the finals last year and you saw Jason Tatum trying to do the Kobe, like hugging the trophy reenactment photo, corny. I wasn't the only one that thought it either. It was corny because you saw the photos around him. You know Kobe was his idol and all that kind of shit. So it's like you kind of saw it coming. You're like, don't be too corny. Man, the pictures I'm seeing from Jalen Hurts, dude, that is some iconic photos. He's sitting there. I think he's got the Lombardi in his hand. He's got a cigar going. He's got, the shirt on. Like, it's just the dude, he doesn't give a fuck about nothing but his team and the game that he plays. That is it. I fuck with it. Jalen Hurts is an absolute dog. I lost what I was talking about. If I'm going to be completely honest, I forgot what I was talking about. Saquon Barkley, A.J. Brown being a dog. He caught a tutty. That offensive line handled that Chiefs defensive line, protected Jalen all game. I mean, just a special team. I'm serious. I think they're a special team. When you go back and look at this dominant performance that has happened twice to Patrick Mahomes, just FYI, when you can get home and pressure Patty, it's not looking too good. When you get 4 all the way home, I'll say that. When you get 4 pressures without blitzing and having some good-ass coverage, it's not looking too good for Patty. It's not looking good for any quarterback in that position, just FYI. If you can get home with 4, it's not looking too good. It is not looking too good. Saquon had a quiet game, like I said, but he caught the ball. He had a couple passes early in the year where it was like, I think it was like week 3 where he dropped that out route and he dropped a wheel route later in the year. He caught the ball twice, like two deep-ish passes, I'll say mid-range passes, where he caught it. One of them he bobbled, but he secured the catch. So shout out that. Chiefs defense, like I said, they sold off to stop the run. They just got eaten up. They just got eaten up in the secondary. They really did. You look at the numbers that Jalen put up. I mean, they weren't like all-star numbers or fantastic numbers, but he got the motherfucking job done. That pick that he had, it was kind of a good pick. It was totally a good pick. It was kind of an arm punt, honestly. I see what that's the one time the Chiefs and Steve Spagnuolo had the blitz dialed up perfectly. They had a rusher come up the A-gap. He tries to get rid of it, put enough air on it, and just didn't. He got his arm hit as he was throwing the ball. Safety made a pretty good pick. If you're thinking about it, he probably should have just knocked it down. But I can't tip my hat enough to that Eagles team. That Eagles team is legit. Again, when you go back and look at it, you'll see the end of the box score. You'll see the stats, all that kind of shit. We all know that it was a 44-6 game at one point. It was a 44-6 game or 40-6 game, whatever that number was. Just an ass kicking. That's just what it was. At the end of the day, if you watch that game and tell me that the Chiefs didn't get their ass kicked, we're watching two different sports then. We're just watching two different sports. That's just what it is. I think the Eagles, defense, solid. Kicking was solid. Shout out Jake Elliott. Offense, solid. When you win in all three phases of the game, it's hard not to be successful in this league. That's all I got. That is my brain dump. Let's talk. Where do we want to go with this? Let's talk to just. That'll be after this. Jalen, Patty. Let's just talk about the rankings real quick. I hate it, but it does some numbers every once in a while. Jalen Hurts, is he elite? I think unequivocally he is. Don't get me wrong. I shit on Jalen Hurts a couple times this year. Even last year I shit on Jalen Hurts. Comparing him to Tyrod Taylor. If you go back and look at the numbers at one point, him and Tyrod Taylor had the identical numbers. I think he's elite. I think he's... At this point, it's hard not to put him in the top 5 just for that performance right there. Super Bowl MVP, Super Bowl champion. Now, if the game was maybe reversed or even closer, and if I'm trusting Jalen Hurts to go get me a tutty, my confidence has grown with that statement. Before, even during this year, I was like, if I need to go get a touchdown in the final, minute and a half, I don't know. I don't know if he's doing it. When they lead like that, and when you can run the ball, and when you can get open, and when your defense is so solid, it's hard to fuck up. I think he's an elite quarterback. Where do I rank him? I mean, right now he's obviously the best quarterback in the league. Just because he won Super Bowl MVP and he won the game, he had a great game, all that kind of stuff. He beat Patrick Mahomes. That's just dethroning right there. Now, that'll change here in probably about a month, but I think he's elite. If I were to give you my top 5 off the dome, no order, Patty, Lamar, Josh, who just won MVP, Joe Burrow. It's got to be Jalen. I think it's Jalen, and then I think I'm a huge Justin Herbert fan. I think it's Herbert. I know I'm missing guys. But I think that's 5-6 right there. I think Jalen's right there now. I really do. I would love to see him. I'm excited to see him progress through the next few years. When the legs start to slow down, can he become like a pocket passer and just get out of situations and, not have to run for 70 yards a game, all that kind of shit. I mean, that's just the league the way it is now. You need a mobile quarterback. You need a guy who can step up in the pocket, go get you a quick 6 to 10 and get a first down. Jalen is elite. I think that's all I got on that. Now, the big winner, the big winner in this entire scenario, Tom Brady. Tom Brady not only got to watch a three-peat not happen, not only did he get to watch Patrick Mahomes lose, but his aura, if you want to put it, his stats, his game logs, all that kind of shit are coming back up, resurfacing. People are saying no one's ever going to beat Brady. I completely agree with that. Brady is my GOAT until... At this point, Patty's either going to have to three-peat to even get close to the conversation. But what's the conversation at the end of the day? Rings. It's all about rings. Not for me. But just purely in general, that is what people talk about is rings. I think Tom Brady had 3 Hall of Fame careers. Look, Patty's 29? Dude's not even 30 yet. And people are like, he's not even going to be close to the GOAT ever. He could easily get 3 championships in the next 6 years. Like it's not out of the possibility. Now, health and all that kind of stuff, but I think Tom Brady right now, that just cemented him as the GOAT for at least another 2-3 years. I'm guessing, the Chiefs are always going to be in the playoffs while they have Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid as a combo. But the amount of disgust that people have for saying Patrick Mahomes never going to be the GOAT, he still has a very good chance of being the greatest quarterback of all time. At the moment, it's still Brady. At the moment, Brady is still 7-3 in Super Bowls. It was a fucking flex for Tom Brady the entire time. I would love to see him. I would love to get his honest thought. Truth serum injected into his veins. Was he happy about seeing the Chiefs fail? I think the answer would be yes. I really do. I think he wants them to win. I think he wants them to be a great team. I think he wants that for every team. Maybe not every team, but, I don't know. I think Tom Brady has just solidified himself as the GOAT. I saw Stephen A. or it was some talking head on ESPN that was like, we can't even make sure that Patty has passed Joe Montana at this point. Again, that's talking rings. That is talking rings. Montana's 4-0 in Super Bowls. He won all 4. That's just talking rings right there. It is a completely different game between Joe Montana and Patrick Mahomes. 2 completely different games. The athleticism level is completely different. The schematics behind the entire game is different. Just different. I think, someone's got a point though. If you really think about it, has Patrick Mahomes passed Joe Montana in the, conversation? If you were to build me a Mount Rushmore right now of quarterbacks, who would it be? Brady? This is mine. Brady? Fuck, that's so much pressure. I guess Joe Montana. I'm going Peyton Manning. Do you go Elway? Do you go Bradshaw? Do you go Steve Young? Do you go Patty? I know I'm missing so many quarterbacks. I think it's Patty. I really, really do. At this current moment in this podcast, it is Patrick Mahomes. That is subject to change. I don't know. I really don't know. I'd love to break down. Maybe next time I'll break it down. But the GOAT conversation as of right now, the door has officially closed. I think Patrick Mahomes is a great quarterback. I think he's probably the best quarterback in the league. I just switched that answer. I just jinxed myself or whatever the fuck it is. I don't know. Patrick did not look good. And the 2 losses that they have had in the Super Bowl, Patrick Mahomes got dominated. This game was glaring. This game was glaring for Patrick Mahomes. You put a little pressure on him, keep him in the pocket, take away the deep threats. He's not there. He's gone. He disappeared. Vanished. Thanos. Snap of the fingers. Disappeared. You give him some time. I think that changes a little bit, though. Time in the pocket, not time in years. Time in the pocket. It might be different. It really might be different. But if you look at me and say, "Hey, I need you to start a franchise right now," and your choices are between Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes, I don't think it's a question. I don't think it is. I think it's obviously Patrick Mahomes. But if I were to build a team with absolute dogs, literally, shout out the Georgia Bulldogs, go Dogs. Where my dogs at? It's like I build a team and then put Jalen Hurts in it. It's the Eagles. I don't know. I digress. Eagles picked up majority of the blitz. I won 0 bets. I put money on the Eagles, but I parlayed it with other things. So I had that. I loved some of the other bets. I just didn't put enough money in my account because I thought I'd be chilling. I really did. Yeah. Non-QB score a record or recorded passing TD. That one hurt a little bit. Which one was it I put in? A passing TD and a rushing TD by both teams in each half. I thought that was a lock. I thought that was an absolute lock. I was like, I'm walking away from this positive regardless. Nope. Last thing about the game, again, shout out the Eagles, Super Bowl champions. Halftime review. It was mid. It wasn't the best. Look, and that's maybe coming from my bias. I'm a Drake guy. I'm a Young Money guy. You know, Drake is my GOAT. You want the three talking head? You want the three best rappers ever? Kanye, or four, I guess. It's Kanye, it's Eminem, it's Drake, and it's Lil Wayne. Those are the four best rappers maybe ever. I thought Kendrick had a lot more bangers than what he played. Everyone knew he was going to play Not Like Us. I mean, he teased it halfway through his performance, but it was okay. I mean, I thought the dancers were cool. I thought the game set that they had going on throughout the entire field was cool. Samuel Jackson as his uncle. There's some deeper meaning behind that. But he was Uncle Sam. But I mean, it was mid. I was thinking about this earlier. It's like, yeah, Not Like Us is a certified banger. It really is. At least like the first 2.5 minutes are really good. Euphoria. I thought he was gonna play Euphoria. If he would have played Euphoria, I would have fucking lost it. I would have definitely lost it. Or Swimming Pools, Backstreet Freestyle. I mean, the dude has bangers, but it's like, you're going to play these? Like, what are we doing? Like, we all know we want to hear Not Like Us. We all want to hear that. But I don't know. I think Lil Wayne should have been performing at the Super Bowl in Louisiana. He's a Louisiana native. Lil Wayne should have been on that stage, not Kendrick. I mean, it's a dark industry with lots of ties where people are making calls based on decisions that have happened in their past life. You know, that kind of shit. But I thought it was mid. Like, it was cool, don't get me wrong, it was cool. But yeah, I thought it was mid. I'm just going through my stuff right now. All right, we got a few more things to talk about. Football-wise, a couple basketball things. Jimmy Butler, we talked about it last week. It was either going to be, I think it was with the Warriors. I think we talked about it. But he signed an extension, 2 years, $121 million. Half of that's going to taxes since he lives in fucking San Fran now. Apparently the Cowboys have had discussions about trading Micah Parsons. That's crazy. I mean, it's a lot of trade value right there. And I would say that's a majority of your defense that is going to be gone if you trade him. So that's kind of wild. The Jets are getting rid of Aaron Rodgers. It is a failed experiment. I think it was exciting to see Aaron Rodgers in that uniform. I think there's a lot of deeper shit. I'm about to read it right now, but hypothetically, he doesn't tear his Achilles that first game on the third play. We could be having this conversation in a completely different light. I think that sucked. I think that set back the Jets franchise. I think that set back Aaron Rodgers. I think it is incredibly difficult to come off an Achilles tear. That's not a hot take. But coming back off of that kind of shit, especially when you're 40 years old and you're coming back and trying to be, high caliber QB. First of all, I shouldn't have drafted him in my fantasy team. That was a fucking mistake. He gave me like 12 points best all year. So it sucks to see him. Apparently the Steelers are leading the charge right now to get Aaron Rodgers on their team. I think that might work. I think that also Devontae Adams is out at the Jets. He's following Aaron. Or if he was smart, he'd go to a franchise quarterback at this point and kind of just be like, Aaron, I love you, but I only got a few years left, and I want to win a ring, and I want to develop chemistry with a quarterback that might be able to win me a Super Bowl. If I'm looking, Bengals might not be a bad option. The Bills might not be a bad option. Chiefs, obviously. Broncos might get Deebo Samuel, but I'd rather have Devontae Adams. I mean, he could go to Philly, but that won't work. I don't know. Devontae Adams going somewhere is just crazy to me. Or not, it's not crazy, but it's like, where is he going to land? But the report around the Jets, and Aaron Rodgers. This is Don Kleiman, Dove Kleiman on Twitter, NFL_Dove Kleiman. You guys probably follow him or have seen him. The Jets told Aaron Rodgers he couldn't appear on Pat McAfee's show anymore if he wanted to be with the team next season. That's reported by Diana Rossini, I think it is. Yeah, Diana Rossini. Quote unquote, you're not going to do the Pat McAfee interviews anymore. They had a conversation with him of, if you want to stay here, here's how we would want it to be. So this is me. So to this, oh my God, can I fucking read? So this to me is Aaron Glenn getting control back. So Aaron Glenn's going in there, shaking fucking branches already, getting Aaron Rodgers off Pat McAfee, which, I mean, someone under it commented and they were like, this is like Sean Payton telling Russell Wilson he can't have a private office in the facilities anymore, which I get, but like Pat and Aaron Rodgers are boys. It's slightly different than the Russell Wilson thing, but it's similar. It's similar, but it isn't, but it is. You know? I'm excited to see where he goes, or maybe he just retires. Goes off in the sunset, Super Bowl ring, Super Bowl MVP, has so many fucking records. I mean, he's probably top 5 in passing all time. I don't know that off the top of my head. Great quarterback, first round Hall of Famer in my eyes. And then this news came out the other night. It was like the night before the Super Bowl. Kellen Moore, Eagles offensive coordinator, is going to be the Saints head coach, which that'll be exciting to see just because Kellen Moore has bounced around the league. He's been in Dallas. Obviously, he's now been in Philly. I think he was somewhere before Dallas. Maybe not. But he knows talent when he sees it, and his offense is ran to perfection. I'm excited to see if he can actually do something down there because the Saints are not fun to watch. Spencer Rattler, your quarterback? Ooh. Maybe. Hey, you know what? Just maybe Spencer Rattler can do some damage. That's it. That is all I got. It is fantastic. It's sad that the football season's officially over, college and professional. I'm excited already for it to come back. I love talking games. We're going to transition into some basketball next episode. Obviously, we'll always have NFL news, college news, all those kinds of things. But college basketball, NBA, Luka made his debut last night. I didn't see the numbers. I saw like the first 5 minutes of him playing. I'm like, that's cool. And then went to bed. East Coast time fucking sucks. I'm not in the East Coast, but like even then, the game West Coast, it's 8:30 my time, and I'm like, bro, I got like 30 minutes to an hour before I got to go to bed. So like, subscribe, comment, first of all. But like, imagine living East Coast time zone, watching an 8:30 Lakers game. Get the fuck out of here. 11:30. You better be going to work at like 10. If you're going to watch the whole game, you're up till 2. That's crazy to me. That is fucking crazy. Fix it. I don't know. Anyways, but yeah, next episode, again, we'll have some news. We're going to get some college basketball picks going. We're going to get some NBA picks going. I haven't figured it out yet. I'm probably just going to start parlaying stuff together. See if anyone tails it. Maybe pick some separate picks. I know there's a lot of college basketball happening right now. We're inching closer to March. March Madness is a great time of year. Talk a little bit about that. Again, NBA. We'll talk about some golf as much as I can. Scotty, I know, is still number 1 in the world. The waste management, I forgot his name. Dietrich, I think, just won the waste management last week. Where are they at this weekend? I forgot where they're at this weekend. Is it PGA? Is it the PGA? I forgot. Regardless, this is a sports show. We're going to talk sports all the way through summer until we get to football. I love it. Again, like, comment, subscribe. Tell me to go fuck myself. I don't care. Subscribing costs nothing. If you got to this point in the episode, if you're here, if you're still here, just subscribe. Just subscribe. Hey. Subscribe. Costs nothing. Follow me on Instagram. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on TikTok. If you're watching this, subscribe. Just subscribe. Hey, adios.